Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Shades of Sage, where I discuss all things motherhood. My name is Tashima, and I am a doula and mom of 3, and today I'm going to talk about how to know if your breastfed baby is getting enough breast milk. I know a lot of moms are worried about this when they're starting out on their breastfeeding journey with the newborn, so I'm going to go over 5 easy steps to help you on your breastfeeding journey so that you can have peace of mind that your baby is getting enough milk. So let's get started. So the first good indicator that your baby is getting enough breast milk is if you can hear your baby swallowing. So when you first put your baby to breast, you may notice that your baby is doing short and shallow sucking, and so that helps to bring the breast milk down. That helps to trigger the let down reflex for mom. As you continue to breastfeed, then your baby will go from the short sucks to the long deep sucks, and that's where you want to get. That's where you will hear your baby swallowing. So just make sure that you're kind of paying attention when your baby is eating or when your baby is breastfeeding, when you're nursing. As long as you hear the swallowing and as long as you can see their ears moving, which lets you know that they're using their jaw to get the milk out of the breast, that is one good sign that your baby is getting milk, at least from your breast. So the next good indicator for a good breast milk supply is your output. So just checking how many wet diapers your baby has in a day. Somewhere around 6 to 8 or 6 to 10 diapers. You want to see that in a baby, that they're putting out that many diapers a day. And then as far as poop goes, which the range can differ from child to child. So I don't want to say how many poopy diapers you should see in a day or in a week, but as long as that poop is looking watery and it's not like thick and dark or really compact, then you know that your baby is not dehydrated. So for a newborn baby, once they pass that meconium and once you get to yellow, seedy poop, that's what you want to see in your baby. That's what you want to see in their poopy diapers. Again, you want to make sure that they have at least 6 to 10 wet diapers a day. So another good indicator that you have a good breast milk supply or that your breastfeeding relationship is going well is that your baby is gaining weight. Now, it is normal for newborn babies to lose about 10% or up to 10% of their birth weight when they're born. Pediatricians and doctors usually don't want to see anything greater than that number, and your baby should be back up to their birth weight about a week or a week and a half after they're born. So it's normal for babies to lose a little bit of weight those first few days as mom's milk is coming in. And again, all you need in those first few days is colostrum, so don't be too concerned about that. But as time goes by, of course, you want to see them gaining their weight back and then beyond their birth weight. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that. And that is probably the biggest indicator that you are producing enough milk is if your baby reaches their birth weight again after birth and then beyond that and continues to steadily grow. So the fourth thing that I want to mention to help you to know if your baby is getting enough breast milk is how your breasts feel after a breastfeeding session. So before you breastfeed your baby, your boobs may feel really heavy and maybe even hard and engorged a little bit if it's been a while since your baby has eaten. But after your baby breastfeeds and they're done nursing, your boobs should feel soft and you shouldn't have any lumps and they shouldn't feel full or hard. So in the beginning, when you first start breastfeeding, when your milk comes in, of course your boobs will feel engorged, but it won't always feel like that once your milk supply regulates. So I know some moms get a little worried when they don't feel that really full feeling anymore. But your boobs will feel a little bit more dense when your baby needs to eat, and that's kind of a sign for you to know, yeah, it's time for me to feed my baby. But after you feed your baby, you should notice that they feel just a little bit softer and a little bit more comfortable. So that's a good indicator that your baby is actually getting milk out of the breast. It's how your boobs feel after you're done a breastfeeding session. And then the last thing that I want to mention in this video to help you to know if your baby is getting enough breast milk is, does your baby seem satisfied when you're done breastfeeding? So is your baby relaxed? Is your baby content after you're done breastfeeding? Some signs to look for your baby is their little hands. So normally when your baby's hungry, if you notice, they'll have their fists clenched up, but when they're full and they're content and they've had enough milk, their hands will be softer and they'll be open. So that's a good sign as well to tell if your baby is actually full after a breastfeeding session. If your baby visibly looks full, like their tummy, if it looks fuller than it did when you started, and if your baby is quiet alert, or if your baby falls asleep at breast. Now, falling asleep at breast is a little tricky one because especially for newborn babies or babies that are less than 3 months old, sometimes they tend to fall asleep while they're eating and they haven't eaten enough. So in those situations, in those cases, you do need to wake your baby up to continue nursing. It's just because they're newborn. So they're figuring out life outside of the womb and everything is new and different for them. So sometimes you may have to encourage them to eat after they have fallen asleep. But in general, them drifting off to sleep is a good sign that your baby is happy and content and full. So those are my top 5 easy tips and steps to help you to know if your breastfed baby is getting enough breast milk. If you are breastfeeding exclusively, it's normal for a breastfed baby to eat between 8 to 12 times a day. So 8 to 12 times a day in a 24-hour period. So that's what you really want to see. You want to make sure that pretty much every 2 to 3 hours your baby is eating. That will help to keep your breast milk supply up as well. And feed on demand. I know I probably say this in all of my breastfeeding videos, and I probably will say it in all of my other future breastfeeding videos, but that is, I feel like, the biggest tip. I cannot stress that enough, to feed on demand. You feed on demand, you cannot go wrong. Literally. Trust me. Trust me. I breastfed all 3 of my babies for at least a year, and that really is the main component in my success in being able to breastfeed them and not having to supplement. So feed on demand. Don't worry about the clock. Don't look at the clock. Just try to follow your baby's feeding cues. When they show interest in nursing, or when they look like they're hungry, or when they're trying to initiate breastfeeding, just breastfeed them, and hopefully you will have a good and successful breastfeeding journey for however long that you want to breastfeed. So that's all that I have for this video today. I hope that it was helpful. I know I see this question a lot on the mommy boards that I'm a part of. So these are some 5 ways to ensure that your baby is getting enough breast milk. And again, if you're really concerned or you really think that you're not producing enough, of course, check in with your pediatrician, check in with a lactation consultant. All of these people are here to help you on your breastfeeding journey. So don't be afraid to reach out for help and resources if you feel as though you need it. If you like this video, give me a great big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Remember to let your story be your power, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.